And I'll be brief because most of the things have been said and it's not good to repeat. And also given the fact that when I look at my time, we are behind by almost over 1 hour. And therefore, because today is the day of celebration, I'll try also to be brief. But it's important for me to say that I have many friends here because your principal, Bwana Akanga, we were with him in campus, KU. So I can confirm that he is learned because we went to the same school at the same time. I also want to recognize all the other people who've taken time to speak to us before I came on stage. All your words have actually gone ahead to talk the many things we were supposed to talk about today. And therefore, thank you for also doing my work as the guest. I am here with many people. I recognize a few to represent all the others. I am here with MCA Esther Irongo, Kiambu County. She is the nominated MCA, Kiambu County. I have a gentleman called Mohea Kagwe, who is a senior officer working with the PS for sports. I have a lady there called Aurelia. Aurelia, I can't teach you everything. Nilikwambia, especially you, who is Aurelia the way you are. I don't call you, then you sit down so fast. People should see you so that bado uko hapa na pale. Maneno yako inaweza fanyika mzuri hapa. So Aurelia, she's a youth leader here in Muranga, and she's my friend, and we are a bigger team. Those ones are representing all of us. Cecilia, thank you very much for that program you are running of Boy Child. And definitely, when Mungu atatuwezesha, we must do our bit to support. And in that regard, when I was coming here, there is a friend of mine who sent me a message, and he told me that there is a young man who is a student and who have challenges because of finances. He's actually not in school as we talk. Maybe those who are graduating know him, called Brian Boro. She's a student here, but she's out because of school fees. So I want to commit that she will come back the soonest time possible. And we are going to take care of whatever challenges there are financially so that he can also realize his dreams. When stakeholders were being introduced, I noted from the graduates, when Jordan College was mentioned, the hearts were communicating something. And looking at the courses of Jordan College and of JFC Munene, there are no much similarities. So, I am sure there is something that happens after class between JFC Munene and Jordan College, which the parents should take note. But ukiwa hapa Thika, hiyo pia ni hali ya masomo. Thika is my second home, and I was telling Bwana Tony that because my father used to live here in Thika. Selamu inaitwa Kiadutu. My father used to live there. Not the Kiadutu that is there today. Today is a bit modern. That time I could visit my father and I could see everything happening outside. Kama vile niko hapa kwa tent, I can see our parents outside. In my father's house, I could see the same. But sio kioo ya nyumba. Ni mianya ilikuwa kwa hiyo nyumba. And I have so many relatives here in Thika. I think I actually have more relatives here than in Muranga, where I represent the people of Kiharu. Most of the estate here, from Majengo, Biafra, UTI, Nanasi, Kiadutu, I have relatives, and therefore this is my home. And I am very, very glad to be here. In fact, my elder father, the brother to my father, used to be a carpenter wa kuchonga bao in the Munene Industries Square. Na alikuwa ameweka kibao hapo. You know, that time I think that was the way of advertising business. Na maybe kwa sababu our parents hawakupata nafasi ya kusoma sana, na tunashukuru wametupea hiyo nafasi. So you could come there kwa kuonyesha biashara yake. Alikuwa ameweka kibao hapo nje, ask Muragori inside here. That was the advertisement of my father's brother's business. And therefore I'm just trying to say that Thika, when I come here, I respect this place because I am also a product of Thika. And also when Cecilia mentioned about the 6, when you had one Margaret, the first student, the way you used to send even her fare to come to school, I saw the graduates, they were like cheering you on to also start doing the same even now. Ukiona mtu amechelewa unamuuliza uko wapi nikutumie fare. Pengine hiyo utaona vile utafanya. Now, I have very few points because I don't want to buttress and to over-communicate what has been done. First of all, the kind of trajectory we have seen in this college is very, very melting and very exciting. That a college started just a few years ago during Corona time when we had challenges has now moved from 6 students, and now we are talking of close to 1,000 students because they are 800. That's a very good success story. But to me, it's not just a success story in terms of business, but in terms of how many people are being prepared to be workforce here in Kenya. And I'm very glad that JFC Munene is an embodiment of what we would call a social investment. Because even in the governance of a country, there are 2 principal social investments. One is education, and the second one is healthcare. JFC Munene is both. In the industry, when you are growing mangoes, you value add mangoes to become juice. Now, in human capital, because we come here at JFC Munene to be polished as human capital, what education does to me and you is to value add me and you. The same thing, a raw material goes through an industry, and out and in the after the value chain, you get a finished product. That value addition is what education does to human beings. That you are just a banal and polished person. When you come to an institution like this, unakuwa polished so that you become the product that the labor market needs. But also, healthcare, what it does is to service. When you take a car for service, an industry like Ken Blessed, Broadway, which are here in Thika, after some while they call engineers to service their machines. Healthcare does the same to us as providers of human capital. And therefore, JFC Munene, you are in a very primary place to continue doing the same to our Kenyan human capital. Na ni vizuri nieleze wazazi ambao wako hapa. Mungu ametupea nafasi, tumeenda pahali hata nchi zingine. Na juzi nimekuwa nchi ya South Africa, nikaenda Namibia, then I went to Botswana. Na kitu moja nilikuja nyumbani kama najivunia sana, ni ya kwamba nchi zote za Afrika wanatabua ya kwamba hakuna wafanyikazi wengine barani Afrika ambao wamekomaa kama wa Kenya. That even in Botswana and Namibia, you have civil servants who are Kenyan. That the government of that place believes that when you have a Kenyan, you have a person who has gone through a very high standard of learning. Na pia work ethic iko juu. And that is something we must continue being very proud of as a country and continue investing in it. Now, it has been said, and I want to just add on top of it. JFC Munene is laying the ground. Please emulate the alumni whom we have seen here. When you get a certificate, you get a diploma, there is something higher than that. Please, let us continue adding into the education level that we have. We are doing that even as your servants. I've been in school doing 2 master's degrees together. In the University of Nairobi, which I have graduated, and next Friday, like today, I'll also be graduating with a second master's in KU. Again, of economics. So I'm just trying to say, sisi wote tukiwa hapa, masomo haifiki mwisho. Every now and then, keep adding. Then, even as you add on the basis of certificates, also add knowledge that is not necessarily given a certificate. You know, in economics we say, when you come to an institution of higher learning and you are given a certificate, the only reason you are given is what? Have you ever asked yourself that? Unapewa ya nini na umesoma, na umejua? A certificate is only given to correct a market failure. So that when you go and give it somewhere, you are already signaling the kind of a person you are. When you give a certificate of a degree, you are signaling to the people interviewing you the caliber of a person you are. Otherwise, why do you need a certificate? And you've come, you are a doctor. Ordinarily, you shouldn't get. You are only given that certificate to diminish market failure, where the person who wants to employ is not sure about the kind of people they want to employ. So, also seek for knowledge beyond certificates. And because you invited me as a guest, I also want to confirm that I also read and learn a lot. Reading everything about economics, magazines about called Economists, magazines like Forbes, magazines about business, because that's my area, about governance, about leadership. At any point in time, I'm reading about 3 books concurrently. And I'm not saying that for you to see that I read. I'm saying that because you invited me as a chief guest to confirm to you that reading is not wasting time. It polishes your mind and you become better. Health journals, read them. Depending on the course you are taking, polish yourself. Leap forward. Become better. When you are invited for an interview, what is the distinction between you with a diploma and another person with a similar diploma? The person interviewing you are looking at you who you are, not what the certificate is communicating, because by the time you are invited for the interview, the certificate has already done its work. So you have to keep on polishing yourself. I am sure we are looking for jobs after this. It's a good thing because we need to serve our country and to serve the population of Kenya and beyond. But I also know there are many opportunities outside of the country, which is calling upon you to take part in. But as it was said here before, there are also entrepreneurs within the health sector. Even as you look for jobs, you can also seek on how you can become part and parcel of creating enterprises and creating institutions that are privately owned by not other people, but the graduates of today of JFC Munene. That we are going to have a metropolitan hospital started by you seated here. We are going to have an Aga Khan started by some of you here. We are going to have an equivalent of MP Shah started by some of you here. The world also have billionaires who are in the medical sector. And therefore, you don't need to look outside. You can also work within and become. As you do that, and on top of what has been said, professionalism is important. And I will not buttress because of time. Carry yourself like a doctor from today. I'm not saying you become Spartan and you become stiff. I'm just saying that as you do your work, as our parents, our brothers and sisters come to the facilities you work, when they go home and they say, I was with Dr. Mwangi, I was with Dr. Atieno. You know, most of us actually, within the profession that you are studying, we know all of you are doctors. So you must carry yourself from today like one. Because when you carry yourself in a professional manner, then you add into your blood. The second thing is honesty. honesty cuts across. You are in a very sensitive area and profession. But I want to also confirm here as a leader, there is nothing to gain in this world through dishonesty. You seem like you've gone ahead 2 steps, but then because of that dishonesty, na siku hizi hakuna watu wengi wa kudanganya. Unaenda mbele step 2, unarudi zingine 4 nyuma. There is everything to gain in you being believable, in being honest. The other thing is responsibility. Now you are responsible as a career person, but you must also be responsible as a human being. And there is a story that is given, and I'm speaking very fast so that I finish, about a road that had been blocked. Ilikuwa imeblokiwa na mti na udongo. Lakini it was deliberately blocked by the king of that place. It's an analogy. So the king went somewhere he could see the behavior of human beings when they see an obstacle in the road that is blocking many more people. Na kama amekaa pahali juu, alikuwa anatazama watu wanafanyaga nini, wakipata kitu inaharibia watu wote starehe. Ilikuwa imefuka barabara. So on comes a rich person, alikuwa na puda yake, that time there were no cars, na carriage. Yeye akapenya, akaenda kando, akapita. Kakuja mtu mwingine, watu kadhaa. Kama wanapita, hiyo kitu ilikuwa imeziba barabara. But then afterwards, a farmer came. Mheshimiwa karibu sana. A farmer came. A farmer, just like many of us here, alikuwa anapita katika hiyo barabara ambayo imezimbwa. Na huyu farmer akaona, hii barabara sio mimi tu inafugia watu wengi. Akaondoa hiyo udongo na akapushi hiyo mti ilikuwa imefuga hiyo barabara, only to realize hapo chini kulikuwa na kibeti na dhahabu ilikuwa hapo ndani. Na king, kwa sababu alikuwa anatazama, akaita huyo mtu, the farmer, akamwambia hiyo pesa ni yako kwa kazi njema umefanya ya kuona kuna kitu unaweza fanya ya kusaidia wengine. And he also took the farmer and promoted that farmer in court. Tuko pamoja? So lazima tukue responsible kwa kazi, kwa uongozi na ile kazi nyingine tunafanya. The last one is hard work and commitment. I also not buttress that point. Nikikuja kumaliza, nimesema mimi napenda mambo ya uchumi na pesa. As you graduate today, don't fall into the pitfall. Na munisikiza vizuri nyinyi muna graduate leo. Siku hizi Kenya, ukisha graduate umepata kazi ya kwanza, ni kama watu huwa hawaamini wamepata kazi kama hajachukua loan. Sijui nini iligia sisi. Ukipata kazi kama wewe ni mwalimu, the second month, the bank is in your school, you are filling a form of a loan. Mtu akikuuliza ni loan ya nini, unajua nimequalify. We take loans because we qualify. But also banks give us loans because we are qualified. So when you are taking a loan, ukishapata kazi unasign form ya loan. Ni kazi yako unafanya ama ni ya loan, ni ya bank? Are you bringing your dreams closer or the bank's dreams and targets closer? Before you take that loan, take some time. Interrogate yourself. Many of us are carrying heavy loads of madeni. Unaigia umepata kazi na natumia zile professional najua zinapendwa sana na kazi ya loans. Hata banks wanapenda. Unapata kazi hivi kama daktari, kama nurse, kama medical practitioner, the second month you are signing a form ya loan. Ya gari, ya kununua ploti, unaulizwa na mtu ploti ni ya nini? Unajua mzee alisema lazima ukuwe na ploti kama kijana Unaulizwa na mtu gari ni ya nini? Watu watajuaje mimi ni daktari? Those pitfalls I have seen, they'll make you a slave from day one of your work. Kabla uchukue loan, interrogate una need ya nini. It's not a must you take a loan when you get your first job. Embrace savings. Other than a loan comes with a cost. Saving comes with a gain. Investments. Don't just invest in the traditional ways. I'm talking to you because I know most of you will get jobs. When you get that job and you are saving your money, there are many investment opportunities. Not just buying a plot na kujenga. not just going to your local shopping center na kujenga duka hapo ya kukodisha. There is much more. Learn about stock market, learn about shares, learn about other investments that you can do, more profitable than even the ones you know. If you have come to JFC Munene for 2 years, and you'll be working Monday to Saturday for your employer, you should also be taking some time off to think about your money, to think about where you can put your money, to optimize it, so that as you work, even the money you are saving is also working for you on the side. Ya mwisho, as a leader, I am here in an institution of higher learning in today's graduation. And the foundation of the Kenyan economy, msingi ya uchumi wa Kenya, ni elimu. Na tumeona this week, tumepata mtihani imekuwa released kwa ile mfumo mpya. I have been interacting with the principals in the constituency I represent Kiharu. Na naona ya kwamba mashule zetu, they are not well briefed about what to do in January in terms of grade 9 who are going to grade 10. And I'm calling upon the government and the ministry ya elimu. You should be preparing on how quality should be enhanced, so that elimu ile tuko mfumo mpya, the transition that is happening for the first time in January, is seamless. Secondly, I also challenge the ministry and the government. They are sending contradictory communication to our principals, and especially of day secondary schools. On one circular, they are saying they want to cut capitation from 22,000 to 12,000. And I want to say here, as we graduate today, there is no leader who Kenyans can accept to draw back on the gains of the free basic education in Kenya. Mambo ya elimu bila malipo ambayo ililetwa na Mheshimiwa Mwai Kibaki, ambayo tunaona ministry na government wameshatumia principles kuonyesha ya kwamba wanataka kuongeza school fees ya day schools in January by 9,000 shillings, 370. Nataka niwaeleze kama mbunge anasimamia wa Kenya in the National Assembly, we are not going to allow anyone to play around with free basic education in Kenya. We should be talking about increasing capitation, not about reducing it. Secondly, the entrepreneurs who have private institutions of higher learning, like colleges, they are literally doing government work. Anyone who has a college in Kenya is adding into the human capital of the Republic of Kenya. And therefore, it is important that the learners in the health colleges and other colleges in Kenya, which are private, they must also start being beneficiaries of the Higher Education Loans Board. Kwa sababu huyu daktari yako hapa JFC Munene akihitimu, anaenda kutibu wa Kenya. Yule anasomea kosi ya ufundi, akitoka hapo, they are coming to serve the Republic of Kenya. And therefore, that should be done. The other proposal, and there is a time we had given it in my previous position, is that ukiangalia the fragmentation of the healthcare practitioners and workers in Kenya, my proposal would actually be, as a country, yes, I know health is devolved, but I think it is important to have a debate where we can have a health professionals commission, where health professionals in the public sector in Kenya are employed, negotiate terms, and they are given equal terms from a central place, just like an equivalent of TSC. So that kama wewe ni daktari, kama wewe ni nurse, even if it is devolved, the terms should be the same. And there should be centrality on how the human capital in that arena is managed. Ya mwisho, na wacha nitoe hii kofia. kuna kitu nimekuwa nikisema inahusikana na uchumi wa Kenya. And those who are making these bad decisions, and they are uncomfortable with me and us when we talk about these matters, I want to tell them there is no edge to this matter until they change what they are doing. And it is in regards to selling Safaricom shares, which Kenyans own, selling it kwa hasara. Mimi ni mbunge wa Kiharu na nimepitia institutions za hapa Kenya na nikakuwa mwanauchumi. Na nimekuwa hiyo kwa sababu nchi yetu imenishikilia using our institutions. And therefore, I feel good when I'm participating in shaping our country in a good trajectory where the economy of Kenya is serving everyone. The government of Kenya is selling 6 billion shares of Safaricom. All of us Kenyans, sisi tuko milioni 55, 55 million. It means when you divide the number of shares the government is selling, you divide by all of us as Kenyans. Me as Ndindi Nyoro, as a taxpayer, as a Kenyan, the 6 billion shares the government is selling, there is my 100 shares in there. Hata mtoto amezaliwa leo ako na share hisa 100 kwa zile zinauzwa. And therefore it is a collective responsibility of us to talk about this matter. The other reason I'm talking about this sale of government stake in Safaricom, it is because it is the highest in value since we got our independence. Today we are celebrating Jamhuri Day in Kenya. And since our independence, we have never had a transaction in terms of quantum as bigger as the one the government is doing. And therefore, it is an important agenda that we are talking about over 200 billion Kenya shillings. There has never been such a transaction in Kenya before. And this is my opinion, and it is factual. In the year 2024, actually year 2014, mimi nilikuwa mtu wa kununua pia hisa katika soko yetu ya NSC. And at that time, there is a company called Rea Vipingo, which I had some few shares. We were buying that share at 27.5 shillings. And the owners of the company wanted to buy those shares from all the other shareholders. And they told us they are going to buy those shares for 40 shillings. Yet it was 27.5. And as a small-time shareholder, I was very excited. Na nilikuwa nasema warete hiyo pesa haraka haraka. Because I was thinking, I was making a handsome profit. But then, the Capital Markets Authority ruled that even if they are offering 40 shillings, the field is open for any other person to offer a competing bid. And there is a company called Centum, which offered 50 shillings for the same share. Mimi nilikuwa nafikiria 40 ilikuwa mzuri, another company offered 50 shillings for the same share. And then another company called Vania offered another bid of 55 shillings. And then the same company that had offered 40 shillings, called Rare Trading, again, because they thought it is a good opportunity, they actually ultimately offered for the same share 85 shillings. And my few shares, which was 27.5 shillings, I ended up selling them for 85 shillings within a few weeks. What am I trying to say? We are trying to sell Safaricom shares, and the government the shareholders ended up pocketing 85 shillings. A company like Baburi was bought the other day with multiple of times of what it was trading for the past 6 months before the takeover. We have had many companies, including Kenokobil, going through the same route. I want to request those people in the National Treasury. The CS now is going to every TV station explaining himself over nothing. And I'm requesting them, if you are doing justice to Kenyans by hurriedly selling Safaricom shares and underselling them, I am requesting even the CS, you challenge me that you have facts. And I told you I am ready because you gave me a challenge. That if you think you are doing the right thing for Kenyans, I'm willing to meet you in any TV station of your choice to make this case to Kenyans. That you cannot sell our most prized assets for a song. And I want to repeat again and again, we cannot sell Safaricom shares on the behest of market price. Market price, I have been there, and I know the market price supplies liquidity, yes, but it's not the only way to measure the value of a company. Then we are selling Safaricom for a song at a time when it is growing. A company that was trading at 45 shillings per share in 2021, now they have already invested in Ethiopia. It's like you are coming to sell a calf. Ng'ombe pamoja na dama yake. Pamoja. Unauza kwa bei kidogo kuliko dama yenyewe. And I'm saying this is wrong. If there is no one putting self-interest na kutaka kuchukua pesa ya Wakenya kwa njia ya kando, hiyo kitu ya mambo ya kuuza Safaricom, they open it to the global markets. Let other companies bid. MTN can bid. Etisalat can bid. We have global funds like KKR, like Blackstone, like BlackRock. Let them bid so that if we sell Safaricom share for a higher price, we build more roads, Kenya becomes more prosperous, and we all benefit. Kwa hayo mengi na machache, asanteni sana. May God bless you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate Honorable Ndindi Nyoro.
And it is important I also say, I was with Anthony Diema in KU the same year also, our MC.
Thank you very much.